Yeah, where they starting Spirit of Justice, where revolution has just kicked off, basically. I mean, like, fully in front of our eyes. But we gotta go head to the Khura'In Palace and confront her about what in God's name is going on here. Wow, we finally got a full book of places to move. How exciting. Well, time to go ruin it by getting executed. I just can't imagine this is about to go well, but it does feel like this is going to be the last scene before we enter the trial, and I just, like I said, I've got no idea what's going to go down. There are, like, all the evidence we've gathered, it could mean, like, 6 different things to me as far as I'm concerned, so I'm not even going to bother trying to speculate at this point. I'm just going to roll with the punches is what I'm going to try to do. Take the testimonies as they come, the seances as they are seanced, and try to lawyer this game. May 18th, Khura'In Palace Audience Chamber. The Royal Guard isn't around. That is utter... Oh, sorry, this will be Rafa.
That is utter hooey! You cannot continue to deceive the people like that!
Rafa, justice is much more than simply speaking the truth. Is that Princess Rafa and Queen Khura'In over there?
You deceived me too, Mother! How can I ever believe a word you say again? You nincompoop!
Strong words. Your benevolence? I, couldn't help but overhear. You should stop saying that, Phoenix.
You impudent!
Oh! You didn't have to say anything. You okay, Mr. Wright? I can't believe she actually punched you. Yeah, I'm used to it by now.
What's the matter with the princess?
It sounded like she was arguing with her mother. About tomorrow's still aliveness, perhaps? Maybe it has something to do with this picture. Rafa said she had to ask her mother about some secret or another as soon as she saw it. Well, that was a long conversation if we were able to do all that other stuff in between then and now. So then, does that mean that Princess Rafa knows what really happened? That Amara wasn't assassinated and is still very much alive? It would seem so. And she doesn't seem to be taking Khura'In's lies very well. But that's no surprise, considering how much Rafa reveres her mother.
It would definitely cause her a great deal of anguish and sadness.
Yeah, dude, she's had a rough, like 48 hours. Eavesdropping, are we? How very rude. You there. Are you not Dirk's son?
Oh, nice to meet you, Your Eminence. We're actually here to speak with you, if you could spare a moment.
Yeah. I said, casually dodging the question.
And hey, look, I'm an attorney.
What have we here?
It's the attorney's badge used by lawyers like me back home.
Sorry, I said that probably with a bit too much pep in my step.
It's the attorney's badge used by lawyers like me back home.
Well, in this country, lawyers are a loathsome breed, and we would advise you not to needlessly advertise your place among their ranks. For even now, the bad karma Dirk has engendered brings woe to your kind. It is a simple matter of cause and effect. Right, and especially with the whole mention of, where's the whole sins of the father thing? Yeah. The idea that sins of the father are visible on his children, blah, blah, blah. So she's not gonna like you now that she knows you're Dirk's son. It is a simple matter of cause and effect.
Yeah, an effect you caused by enacting the Defense Culpability Act.
So I was wondering if we have no intention of bestowing any information upon you or any other lawyer.
I guess someone doesn't like to play nice with others.
I guess that means nothing's gonna work. Oh, sure it will. His own ill will was visited upon him. So it is within the cycle of karma. Does that mean you're gonna try and pin this on Rafa somehow as well, because she's his daughter? Or does it specifically say sons? It's children. So yeah, I'm not like exactly looking forward to how you're gonna make this Rafa's fault. His own ill will was visited upon him. So it is within the cycle of karma. Others might call it divine retribution, the punishment of the gods.
You don't seem particularly sad, even though he was your own husband.
We were betrayed by the man we had called husband. Moreover, the Grand Priestess, summoner of spirits from the Twilight Realm. For us, death is not the end, for we can still speak with those who have passed.
I guess being a spirit channeling queen gives you a different take on life and death.
Interesting. Cold though it seems, I guess that does make some amount of sense. To burn such a mark upon a sacred text of the law, he will surely be visited by what he has wrought. And to think he once called himself a man of the law.
I think it's just his way of objecting to the DC Act.
Yet that act is but an objection to his falsified evidence. How appalling that even now he recognizes no responsibility and knows no shame.
Okay.
In most cases, it's very, very fortunate that she doesn't have anything to say about the evidence we're showing, because if she saw we had a photo of her channeling it and all kinds of other stuff, It would be very bad for us, really. I do love that canonically Apollo, your characters are generally willing to just show them stuff that they absolutely should not see. I'll get to you in a minute, Queenie. Just give me a sec here. Examining this throne. Apollo? What are you doing? This is the Queen's audience chamber. Can't snoop around in here. Oh, right. Sorry. Wonder what it'd be like to sit there. Athena and Mr. Wright groveling at my feet. No, stop! I can't let myself think about that sort of thing. I'm not going to dig into that any further, Apollo. I really would care not to. Amara's alive? Your Eminence, Dirk told me about Amara. About how she's still alive, that is. We know not of what you speak. After Dirk learned that Amara was still alive, he rescued her and they ran off together. But she was captured and remains captive in a secret location to this day. As for Nayuta doing your bidding, it's only because Amara's life is in your hands. What an active imagination you have. Ha 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 ha! A lawyer and a comedian! How droll! Whoa, where'd they come from? Anyway, if she's gonna play dumb, I'll just have to jog her memory with some evidence. Right. Now I've got a choice. A boob, a doo boop. Take that, Your Eminence. I asked that you take a look at this photo. Take a look! Why, that's... It's a photo of Amara. And here you can see a law book bearing the mark of the Defiant Dragons. I believe you know what that means. Very well. Royal Guard, stand down. Yes, Your Eminence! Your wishes are command! It seems there is no need to perpetuate this charade any longer. We shall speak of all we know. Will you now? Amara's alive? Amara's alive! So then... Sorry, that was really funny. You have to admit. Rather comical indeed. So then you admit that Amara's still alive? Yes. She is under our protection in a safe location. I think you mean being held prisoner. And where is she being kept? Now, why would we tell the son of a traitor that? Guess she has a point there. Now heed our warning, horned devil. It would not be wise to inform the people that Amara yet lives. It would only serve to plunge public order into chaos. I have no intention of doing that. Besides, there are real terrorists out there who might try to kill her. Good. Now, there was something we have been meaning to ask you. Do you know what has become of the Founder's Orb? Yeah, well, no. The Founder's Orb went missing after Dirk took it into the tomb. As his son, we thought you might know something of its current whereabouts. I knew it. I suppose I should thank you for that free running tour of Khura'In. That was the Royal Guard's own doing. Nice try, lady. But now you're definitely not getting the orb, ever. Why do you want the orb so badly anyway? Because it would be most dangerous in the wrong hands. It must be recovered. It's a pretty weak argument. Is the legend true? Can the orb really impart spiritual power? Are you worried that someone could overthrow you with it? The Holy Mother's power is without equal. Should Her Holiness once again return to our world, she could conceivably bestow great power upon the one who unlocked the orb's secret. I guess it makes sense, considering spirit channeling is a fact of life here. So we ask you, horned devil, did you receive the Founder's Orb from Dirk? Does it look like I did? So you like to play games, do you? Royal Guard? Yes, Your Eminence! Search this devil and his belongings. What? At once, Your Eminence! Don't move! You're only making this harder on yourself!
Yes! Hey, cut it out! Ah! What the...
Oh, they're gonna pilfer all of our useful stuff. I figured some of this evidence seemed too good to be true.
Ah! Apollo, don't strip here!
Stop resisting! Just submit to our strip search already! Don't strip here, she says, as if I'm in any control of this.
No, wait! Hey, cut it out!
But they did not cut it out.
Ah!
Rest in pieces, my poor tattered dignity. There's no sign of the Founder's Orb, Your Eminence! Oh, did they really not find any of the other important stuff? So you have hidden it somewhere. No matter. I wasn't sure if she was just a paranoid weirdo before who wasn't, like, fully as corrupt as, Inga, but I think she's cooked up here. I think she is just gonna run blindly forward till her kingdom is ash. We shall recover it one way or another once you are found guilty of abetting the accused. Dirk was right. Surely he is bent on getting the orb.
Mother!
Looks like the princess is back. I took a stroll to try to calm myself, but
I still find the situation unacceptable. The people must be informed about Queen Amara.
So she does know about that. Rafa, you do not yet possess a clear grasp of how a government and its people interact. There will always be secrets that must be kept from the ignorant masses.
You have little faith in our people, Mother, but it is the royal priestess's duty to always speak the truth. And as such, I cannot remain silent. I will not!
The truth, you say? Your mind has been poisoned by the barbed one. It was an honor and a pleasure, Your Eminence. Damn. Actually, his tie is more pink in this one than the sort of like magenta-y color it was earlier. But also, now I know you're just completely bullshitting through your teeth and don't believe any of what you're saying, because you were the one who just said to us, well, it was too far away for the history, but she just said to us, you can't tell them the truth about Amara. So it's not as though she doesn't actually think it's the truth like she's implying here, but she's just lying her ass off to her daughter, into her face, when the jig is clearly up. It was an honor and a pleasure, Your Eminence. We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. No, if you would excuse us. She's gonna friggin' kill her! Holy crap! Discipline. Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Dude, do they have CPS over here in Khura'In? Well, they're gone. Well, Paul, let's head back to the safe house for now. Good idea. We need to go over what we found and collect our thoughts. Oh, Rafe, I hope you're safe. You're hot-blooded and impulsive, but you're clearly the victim in all this. One of a few, anyway. Right, well, looks like we're headed to, the office to wrap up before the trial. May 18th, former Sadmari Law Offices. Oh, you're back.
Thank you for holding down the fort, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. Sorry it took so long. Hope you weren't too bored.
I watched The Plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo-Old Twilight Realm, while you were gone. And my verdict is... it's an outrage, especially its theme song. Even worse, the people here believe it's an original Khura'In show. Can you believe it? I've already spoken at length about it with Mr. Rebel, and he... I'm not sure what he's babbling about, but at least it seems he wasn't bored. Once a steel samurai, always a steel samurai. Moving along to things that actually matter, we've gathered about all the information and evidence we can concerning this case. I think it's time we go over everything we've learned so far. I'm with you there. Yeah, but we can head out first. We don't need to be here. Take a good look, everyone! This has the feel that it might be our last investigation section. You flash that badge like a pro now. And with such confidence, too. I can really feel it.
Really?
Oh, sure. Take Trucy's case, or that civil trial yesterday. You really came into your own during both of them.
I can feel my cheeks betraying me.
It's adorable.
You better not be thinking of starting your own firm, Apollo. What? No, of course not.
Probably not ready for that anyway. Although there was talk of you inheriting this one. But of course, I guess Dirk's... well, yeah, if he says he's gonna die. Right, I had forgot about that until just now. Photo of my father? Just because you don't know something doesn't mean that I do, Apollo. That's an important lesson for you to learn. In other words, this didn't ring any bells. It's always a good day when the I don't know anything dialogue is nice and short so you can skip through it fast. Amara, she's still alive. But she's basically being held prisoner somewhere. This puts Dirk at a distinct disadvantage. Not to mention us, too. And Naita's under Garon's thumb because of all this as well. Yep, it's a problem, all right. It's not like we can just go and rescue Amara. There must be something we can do.
Let's have to pin our hopes on Dirk's revolution.
So basically the fates of Amara and Naita depend entirely on our ability to beat the charges against Dirk tomorrow? Seems that way. So 2 full pages of evidence and then one, the Founder's Orb on top of that. We have got a stacked set of evidence for this next case. I was really certain that they were going to discard, confiscate the file on Amara when they did a strip search on Apollo then. What would you do if the Defense Culpability Act was established back home? What would I do? It's a good question.
What are you worried about, Apollo? You'd always have a job as Trucy's assistant.
Uh-huh. And what about you, Athena? Couldn't you become a therapist? I don't know if I could do it for a living. I'd probably go back to playing piano. Hey, what are those looks for? What a dark conversation to have. Oh, I never looked at all the bugs up here. Apollo, we probably shouldn't search the place while Dats is gone. Besides, we need to go over the case for tomorrow. Oh, right. Sorry.
What's with you recently? It's like you want to spend every free minute we have snooping. But don't you get the urge to look at everything you can sometimes, too?
Damn it, that means I missed that dialogue earlier. Alright, about Inga's murder! Let's get serious now. The orb trial, Miles' abduction? Sorry, Miles is fine. The orb trial, Maya's abduction, and the murder of the mastermind behind it all, Justice Minister Inga. It's a lot to consider. Think you have all the facts straight in your head? I certainly don't.
Yeah, I've got it covered, Mr. Wright.
It's the truth about what really went down that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, it's like the more we learn about this case, the less we understand.
That's the case for me, alright. I agree, there's a deep darkness enveloping this case. I'm almost afraid of what we'll find once we lift that black veil. Suffice to say, the real killer is certainly waiting underneath. The real killer, huh? And that's the $1 million question. Or the $800 million question, depending. Who killed Inga and why? Think, Apollo. Who would you say had a motive to commit this crime?
I, for one, am drawing a complete blank.
You and me both, sister. I want to know how the killer slipped into the tomb, killed Inga, and slipped back out without ever being seen. That's a bona fide locked room mystery right there. I don't believe that they... Well, so they didn't check the tomb because the public understanding is that Amara's in there, there'd be no room to hide. Now that we know that Amara isn't dead, there's room in the actual sarcophagus to hide. And Apollo theorized you could probably survive in there, with a warm jacket or whatever for at least a few minutes. So that's one idea. And the other idea would be, well, actually both, my only other idea was that it was someone who had the Royal Guard's ear and could just tell them, don't tell anyone you saw me come out of here after I go kill this guy, right? Which Khura'In seems like the, most likely suspect in that case, but she could have, of course, channeled Lady Kira or something, or, someone... Well, I mean, if she isn't strong enough to explode stab him like he got explode stabbed, then she could have channeled Lady Kira to do it or someone. And just left a note for Lady Kira, this guy's crooked, go kill him, which is true. He was crooked. Either way, whether it's that or that the killer hid in the sarcophagus, the only one who would try hiding in the sarcophagus or have the key to the sarcophagus would be someone in the royal family who was complicit in hiding the fact that Amara isn't dead, right? Because if anyone else would think Amara was in there and it would be a bad idea to open it. So everything points to Queen Khura'In, really, and obviously she's acting super antagonistic towards us. She's acting super antagonistic, but I couldn't tell if I can't tell if that means she's the killer or just she's the masterminding the killer somehow. But anyway. And of course there's that issue of Nina. That's a bona fide locked room mystery right there. We've collected plenty of evidence and statements. I just hope the rest comes out in court. It'll be a thinner tightrope than usual, that's for sure. Man, I would be bricking it if I were them. Because as the player, I know they don't let me progress to the court section until I have everything I need, but they obviously don't know that. Amara's assassination, quote-unquote. This case has one big fly in the ointment. In order to prove Dirk completely innocent, we'll also have to exonerate him of the crime committed 23 years ago. Amara's supposed assassination.
Right, we know Amara is still alive, but Dirk could still be charged with plotting to kill her.
He couldn't discover the truth, even after over 2 decades of investigating. So our biggest hurdle is going to be the complete lack of evidence. I wouldn't say complete. Oh, lack of evidence on the fire, yeah. The fire made sure of that.
Mr. Wright, have you ever won a case without any evidence?
No, that's one thing I've never done before. A trial unprecedented even in the decorated annals of the Wright Anything Agency. Still, I can't help but wonder, was there really no evidence left behind? Oh, and we can't forget about the Defense Culpability Act. Well, the tomb was built on the side of the fire, so if there's any evidence remaining, it's there. Maybe they used the same floor or something weird. Oh, and we can't forget about the Defense Culpability Act. And I suppose, since Jove was said to have perished in that fire, perhaps some evidence could pertain to him. I think we're probably gonna have to channel him, would be my best guess. Those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In short, if Dirk is found guilty and is sentenced to death, we'll likely join him in a very public execution.
Yeah.
At least the revolution will pick up, and so there'll be some public outcry at that point, and so it's not like we'll die with everyone jeering at us. Half of them will be like, hey, let them go! We'll be able to take comfort in that as we die.
Meet the charges or die. What kind of crazy upside-down legal system is this anyway?
Don't worry. I can't ask someone as young as you to risk your life, Athena, so tomorrow it'll just be me and Apollo on the courtroom floor. I mean, Apollo's like 3 years older than her, but you can support us by watching from the gallery.
What? No! I want to help! I'm part of the agency too, after all.
Sorry, but this is a direct order from your boss. Plus, there's Prosecutor Blackwell to think of. He said he'd use me for sword practice if I put you in harm's way. Well, if you're dead, I guess that doesn't matter.
Simon? Well, at least promise me this, you two. Promise me you'll make it back alive. Ha! Make it back alive. Ha!
That wasn't the most courage-inspiring promise. What's with that face, Apollo? You'll never inspire confidence in your client like that. And it'll play right into the prosecution's hands. Remember, the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
I said that like 2 hours ago and you rolled your eyes at me. You're right. Even when it seems hopeless, or when there's not a shred of evidence to be found, we can never let it show on our faces. Right?
If you say so.
I guess they just didn't want to have 3 people on the bench for some reason, but it's kind of weird the way they keep sidelining Athena in this game. Or is it my imagination? Like, I get she's the most junior lawyer, but she's only 1 year junior-er than Apollo. I mean, you might say that when you're 24, you're a bit more. When you're 19, you're still a bit young and hot-blooded, such that you might not know if you're making a huge mistake. But 24 is still pretty young. I don't know, anyway.
But will I actually be able to do that tomorrow? When push comes to shove, will I be able to force my biggest smile? I have faith. Not unlike Rafa, I think it might not happen, immediately, but I think it will come to pass. To be continued! There was actually a fair bit more of the investigation section that had to go on before we got to trial, but we're headed there now, folks. Oh boy, so we've probably got enough time for at least one cross-exam.
Hoo doggy!
They're counting this as day 2 of episode 5, with day 1 being the civil case previous. May 19th, 8:50 a.m., High Court of Khura'In! Oh boy. Finally here. Ooh, animated cutscene. Don't mind if I do. Oh, wow, the revolution is just in the courtroom. Guys, I really appreciate you flying the flag here, but it'd be neat if we could we maybe get out of the way so we can do our jobs also? Okay, guess not. Oh, wow, that was quashed fast. Never mind. May 19th, 9:28 a.m. High Court of Khura'In. Accused lobby. I don't have multiple lobbies, so only one trial at a time, huh? No wonder Inga's behind on so many of them. Good for us, I guess, because once we're about to abolish the DC Act and everything, a lot of these cases are probably going to come into question.
It's complete chaos outside.
Let's just say the Defiant Dragon supporters demonstrating for Dirk's freedom have taken a very special interest in the outcome of today's trial.
They look about ready to string us up if we lose.
Hey, come on, guys, we're all on the same side, right? Trials here are pretty much like the ones back home, but with one major difference. The divination seance. You're only bringing us up the morning of? Wow, damn! The victim's final memories will become a matter for deliberation.
I've heard about that.
But they haven't stopped you from winning your cases here in Khura'In. Well, except for this one time, but it wasn't easy. Still, the memories of the dead are simply another piece of evidence. There's always a way to deal with them if your client is truly innocent. Well, I know Dirk is innocent, but...
I have one more big secret. Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all!
Dirk, what is that secret you're keeping? Which one is it?
Hey, AJ!
There you go, just like I promised.
Not in front of the guards!
Thank you.
Thanks, Tats. Wait, weren't you arrested by the police yesterday?
Yep, and I spent the night in the slammer. I had a fine meal, a shower, even a bed. What more could I ask for?
That actually sounds way better than where we're staying.
Anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Just remember, AJ, if Dirk's found guilty today, we'll all probably be found guilty on the Defense Culpability Act, too.
Yeah, Nayuta said something to that effect.
That witch Khura'In wants to take advantage of today to crush our revolution once and for all. The fate of the revolution and every Khura'Inese person rests on this trial. We're counting on you, AJ.
We'll be fine. I'm gonna win this one. You'll see.
Trial will begin shortly, Apollo. Let's make our way into the courtroom.
Right. I'm prepared.
But we start with the divination seance. Right. So maybe this episode I just carry on till the end of the divination seance. Oh, unless it's a really long one. Sometimes there's really long. In which case I'll only do one chunk of it or whatever. May 19th, High Court of Khura'In. Boosh! Ha! Boom, baby! Day 1, court is now in session. All rise. My save file said it was day 2. I don't care if this is a different trial. Adhere to the save file, your holiness. What do we call you around here? Your majesty? That's the one.
Let the tale of Dirk's Almighty begin.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Majesty.
Oh, so it's really come down to this. Well, don't expect me to hold anything back, Nayuta. He didn't notice that he called the wrong thing, did he?
This trial will examine both the murder of Justice Minister Inga Khura'In and the assassination of the former Queen Amara Sigata Khura'In.
Happy about that. If this were the original trilogy, we'd have had to fight for like 3 hours just to get them to consider the 23 years ago case as well.
First, I believe we should address the minister...
The murderster?
First, I believe we should address the murder of Minister Inga. Would that be acceptable, Prosecutor Sadmari? Prosecutor Sadmari?
Yes, of course. Please proceed. What's with him? Lots of stuff. That's quite fortuitous for us that we are starting with Inga, because that's the one we have the most evidence for, by far.
Very unlike you, Prosecutor. Is your mind elsewhere this day?
Not at all, Your Majesty. Are you really going to be able to go through with this, Nayuta?
Well, Prosecutor Sadmari, I would be remiss if I failed to voice a concern of mine. I have heard mention that you are son to the accused Dirk Sadmari.
You have heard true. Does that fact pose some sort of a problem, Your Majesty?
A father being prosecuted by his own son? Could one possibly deliberate such a case without having personal feelings intervene?
Yes, without question. Can he really handle this? Even if it is Prosecutor Sadmari, going against his own father is just... How can the son of a criminal even be the prosecutor in the first place?
Objection!
Dirk?
Fellow citizens, you would do well not to underestimate my son. He is not one to allow personal feelings to interfere with the execution of his duty. Isn't that right, Nayuta?
I will not stop until my work here is done.
See? So all you doubters just sit back down before you trip over your own stupidity. The accused will not take the stand without first being summoned. In any case, if Prosecutor Sadmari has no issue with this arrangement, then let us commence the deliberations.
Sorry? Was that Queen Khura'In?
Objection!
One moment, if you would.
Your Eminence.
Your Eminence, what brings you here? And why can't I look at you? Your Majesty, it would appear that Prosecutor Sadmari does indeed have some reservations.
No, that's not true!
Did you truly believe you could deceive me, Nayuta Sadmari? One should hold no reservations if one is to stand on these hallowed funerary grounds. I have none, Your Eminence. No, it is clear we cannot leave this matter to you. We shall handle the prosecution of enemy of the crown, Dirk Sadmari, personally. Oh, neat, you can do that. But remain by our side and bear witness to how a true prosecutor enforces the law. Excuse me, but is the Queen going to prosecute this case? Is that, kosher? There is no need for concern. Before we were crowned queen, we served as a prosecutor. Yeah, but don't you have to, I mean, queen, I guess you just break all the rules, but wouldn't you have to, sign some kind of form to change prosecutors mid-trial? Really?
As a foreigner, your ignorance can be excused, but know this. The prosecutor in charge of the Queen Amara assassination case 23 years ago was none other than Her Eminence, Queen Khura'In Sigata Khura'In.
So you lost your only important trial, is what you're saying. First Your Majesty, and now this. Why doesn't anyone ever tell me these things? I'd heard she served as the Minister of Justice, but she was also a prosecutor? I'm guessing she probably moved up the ladder from prosecutor to Justice Minister after losing. We prosecuted that case 23 years ago, but no verdict was ever rendered. It's not the way I heard it. I heard he won, but then there was a retrial going to be declared before he ran away. So I wouldn't say no verdict was ever rendered. It was later rescinded. We had won guilty verdicts in every case until then, for no lawyer could stand up to us.
I am at a loss for words. To think I would once more bear witness to Her Eminence at work in the Hall of Justice.
Our first trial in 23 years. No quarter shall be given to criminals. We shall prosecute them with all our might. Oh boy! I'm not exactly looking forward to this. I'm sorry? What? Are you a
a prosecutor slash queen, or are you a DC superhero?
What a sight! The Queen's time for Prosecutor Days. Today we get to see it once more.
Looks like someone Shazam would fight.
What the? That's Queen Khura'In?
Talk about an extreme makeover.
What? Why?
It's all coming back now. I feel my blood pumping through my veins. Woe to you, O enemies of Khura'In, for I shall personally slice, dice, and grind you up into hog feet.
I don't suppose I can ask her to roll back to her polite pre-makeover personality.
I don't think it would be a good idea. And sorry, what was all this nonsense about us Americans having wild hairstyles? What the hell are you calling this? Cthulhu called, wants his hair product back. Know this, lawyer.
Yes?
Now that I stand as prosecutor, consider your defense's bench a headsman's scaffold. If you wish to leave any last words, I advise you to start thinking of them now. While you still have a head with which to think, that is.
She's dead serious.
Now it is time for the divination seance. Rafa, come forth. But Rafa's definitely going to be team us this time around. So we have to imagine her insights will be a little more reasonable.
Your benevolence, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Rafa, don't grow up to be like your mother. Please.
Your benevolence? I understand it may be difficult for you, but may we proceed with the divination seance?
Yes. Let us proceed.
Forgive me for asking, but are you feeling physically unwell? If so, I would advise you to avoid any undue exertion. Your benevolence?
What's wrong? It's like her mind's anywhere but here.
A lot's happened since yesterday. On top of the murder of her beloved father, she found out that he'd been planning a coup. And today she'll have to experience his death through his own eyes.
Yeah, that would be enough to shake anyone up.
Still, it seems like she's worse off today than she was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't remember her being this depressed.
I kinda do. But we can assume Khura'In threatened her, or worse. We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child, after all. Now, if you would excuse us.
Discipline? Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Wait. Khura'In didn't do something to her, did she?
Your Eminence, about today's divination seance. As I understand it, the prosecution has yet to review its content. Is this deviation from protocol a part of your plan?
Well, until now, she wasn't prosecution, so I don't know that it was really much of a plan. Prosecutor Salmadi, would you care to explain your actions? Your Eminence. The accused was caught at the scene of the crime. Therefore, I deemed no seance would be necessary for such a clear-cut case. You and your bleeding art. You seek to spare Ray for the trauma of witnessing her father's death. Is that why you've done this?
Not at all. You were concerned for me, Prosecutor Salmadi? That's oddly compassionate of him, all things considered.
Your Eminence, your Majesty, regardless of what is best for her benevolence, this case is blessed with a bounty of incontrovertible evidence. So I believe we could reach a swift verdict without devoting precious time to a seance.
You have a point. Personally, I would like to spare her benevolence any undue misery. Experiencing the murder of a loved one is a burden no one should have to bear.
It sucks so much how she really did care for her father. I mean, for all we know, he could have been a really nice father and just a real jerk-off executioner. A good parent does not a good person make, nor does a good person a good leader make, necessarily.
Prosecutor Salmadi, your Majesty. Can this trial truly proceed without a divination seance?
I can't blame her for not wanting to experience her father's murder firsthand.
Your Eminence, what are your feelings on the matter? Shall we have her benevolence return home for some much-needed rest?
We shall not. You fools spoil her with your feckless words of compassion. Listen well, Rafa. You have spoken time and time again about how grown-up you are now.
Yes, but...
So let us see if the royal priestess has truly come into her own. Are you prepared to fulfill your duty and perform the divination seance as you should? Oh my god, she's tapping the thing in time with the music. That's awesome. This doesn't seem like how a mother would talk to their child. Is Amara secretly Raven's blob or something weird? I guess it's supposed to be like a fan or a scepter or something. It looks like something a Bizumaru would use as a weapon. It's like a pin-on cowl. Are you prepared to fulfill your duty and perform the divination seance as you should? Yes. That's better. See? Problem solved. Poor Rafe. Poor Rafa. Is this really a good idea? I guess we'll see. Very well. Let us begin the divination seance. Nana, my robe. Oh. Looks like Nana's still missing. It's been a whole day already. Barbed head. Yes. You removed my robe. What? Why me? Just do it, man! Before Khura'In, like shoots you in the head in the middle of court.
Don't keep our benevolence waiting now, Mr. Wright. Can't you see she's ready to begin?
Great. Reduced to royal robe remover. Dude, it's like, we have bigger fish to fry. Let's take the robe. It's like she's grooming Mr. Wright to be Nina's replacement.
Very well, your benevolence. Please start when you are ready.
You have to get the witness stand out of the way, please, Your Majesty. Come, Rafa. You know what must be done. There is no turning back now. I know. Final memories of the deceased. This should be interesting. I've got chills. I literally just got chills. Time for the Oh Holy Mother stuff.
Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Indeed. It would be a first if she were to mess this up just out of stress and all. But I somehow doubt that's going to happen. But as I said, I'm going to watch through all these anyway. Just in case it said something should change in this final one. What I presume will be the final one. Is it my imagination, or is this like shot from a different camera angle? I think it's my imagination. Seems to be working so far. Nice! Bravo! Encore! I mean encore in the polite way. I don't mean I want to see it again. Good! Goody! You did it, Rafa! I know you can handle it! Ah, you're tough son of a gun, you are! You're neither a son, nor was your parent a gun, but anyway. Oh, unless it didn't work. Oh god, never mind! She didn't handle it so well! Oh god, Athena, can we have... Okay. Your benevolence? What's wrong? Do you think she just had, like, 6 panic attacks at once? This is unacceptable. You're the one who said... Oh, you? Bailiff, take a benevolence to the first aid station at once. You're the one who demanded she... Khura'In, you treacherous blackguard! Torturing your own daughter like that? This is not good. She must have known she wouldn't be able to go through it, and she did it anyway. Asshat!
Your Eminence, do you have any idea why her benevolence collapsed so suddenly? Because I'm drawing a blank. I mean, she seemed fine before.
It seems she was not ready for what the deceased was to reveal. It overwhelmed her. Her inexperience and immaturity left her ill-prepared to face her father's death. And she said she could go through with it. How very disappointing. I know someone who's not winning Mother of the Year, ever. I mean, of course Rafa's gonna be overwhelmed. She's still just a child. It seems we have no choice but to move on to witness testimony. Your Majesty?
Oh, yes, let us proceed. Bailiff, summon the first witness, if you would.
Not good. Not good at all. Ooh, we don't know who you are, do we? Oh, never mind, it's Dirk. Sorry, I've never seen your shoes.
Is this not the accused?
It is indeed. I thought I would give him the opportunity to plead his case, for true justice is more than a unilateral presentation of the facts by the prosecution. It seems uncharacteristically fair of her. I would be highly suspicious. However, should the accused fail to produce convincing testimony, he, along with his cabal of traitorous lawyers, shall immediately be found guilty, and their heads will roll from their shoulders. What? I should have known there was a catch. Wait, sorry, so we don't have... The prosecution no longer has to produce a case or evidence for why he did do it. He just has to prove that he didn't off the bat. I know in Ace Attorney it's usually guilty till proven innocent for the accused, but / the defendant, but they usually have like an opening statement where they explain why it was him first, right?
Your court, your rules. Same as it always was, I see, Khura'In.
Damn. Ouch.
Now then, Mr. Dirk Sadmati, if you could enlighten us as to what happened. Well, I would, if I could.
He's gonna testify about not being able to remember.
Witness testimony.
This is not gonna be good for us. Dirk explains himself.
I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand, and lying right in front of me was Zinga, dead as a doornail. I've no recollection of what happened in the interim, but I didn't kill him. At least, I don't think I did. It'd go against everything I believe in.
That didn't explain squat. For the record, let it be known that the accused's fingerprints were all over the murder weapon, and since he was caught in the act, there was no chance for a third party to tamper with it.
Well, that certainly seems to point the finger at you, Mr. Sadmati. Even as a lawyer, I have to agree with you there, Your Majesty.
Seriously, Dirk? This is no laughing matter! This is exactly what Khura'In wanted. To have Dirk try to plead his case only to fail miserably. How low can she go? Limbo. Prosecutor, behold this most unpleasant of spectacles and let it be etched into your soul. See how instead of accepting the inevitable, those fish-brained lawyers flounder and flop themselves straight into the abyss of despair. Yes, Your Eminence. Show me the way. That's not what you believe, Sadmati.
Now then, would the defense please begin their cross-examination?
Sure we would. So we're trying to get more information out of him, or...
Oh, cross-examination. Apollo versus Khura'In. Dirk explains himself.
So we don't progress until... Oh, thank goodness they gave me my health back from the States. We don't progress until we find a contradiction with him or get some more information. I assume we're just going to press on everything and be like, you really can't remember anything? But before I go assuming... Phoenix, what are we thinking? He's probably just going to tell me to press a bunch. His testimony didn't exactly explain anything, did it? Nope. In fact, he basically just testified to the effect of he can't explain himself. Well, that's undoubtedly what Khura'In wanted. Which is great. Apollo, we need to turn Dirk's non-explanation into an explanation about something. Fast. I agree. Time to push. I was struck by a sudden dizziness the moment I entered the tomb. I mean, that seems like the most important thing. Hold it! You were struck by a sudden dizziness? Was it because of his illness? Is that something that has ever happened to you before?
Well, I can't say that it has. Maybe age is catching up with me. I'm no spring chicken after all.
Don't say that! That's not the issue here. A most cunning excuse, one befitting of an insidious insurgent.
Oh?
A killer who does not recall his crime. How very convenient. Next, I imagine you will plead insanity. You aim to seek a lesser sentence through excuses and subterfuge, do you not?
Objection! Don't make me laugh, your malevolence.
How dare you!
I'm merely stating my innocence. I've no intention of offering excuses. It's your baseless speculation I would decry as foolish, you deceitful witch.
Is it your wish that I should claim your head right now in this very hall?
Well, that would certainly speed things along.
Hold it! Dirk, why are you letting me handle it from here? And if there's anything you need to say, you can say it through me, okay? Anything to stop you from needling the queen.
Next time you have an objection, you'd better have some proof to go with it, Dirk.
The accused will continue with what he does, recall of the crime.
This is an awesome trial so far. I hope it stays this way. Next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand.
Hold it! Do you recall anyone putting the knife in your hand, Dirk?
Wish I could say I did, but I don't remember a thing from before I came to. You think there might have been a third party in the tomb, son?
Yeah, because if you didn't do it, then the real killer must have been there with you.
Objection!
You called your eminence!
Did she go anywhere without those goons?
Was there a third party in the tomb when you were securing it?
No, your eminence! We searched high and low, but found no one of the sword!
And there you have it.
Oh, right. They did search the place.
Furthermore, my guards had the entire tomb surrounded, so there was no way for anyone to escape.
That's right! No one got in or out without our knowledge! Her eminence's on-site detectives were absolutely flawless! Urga'id! Khura'In!
Do you see now? The presence of a third party is beyond the realm of possibility. The tomb was, for all intents and purposes, completely sealed off from the rest of the world.
What a waste of time. How could it be any more obvious? Dick must be the killer. Thanks for nothing, gallery guy. As if our graves weren't already deep enough.
Accused, what do you believe about the possible presence of a third party?
Well, based on the situation you presented, I'd say the chances are slim to none.
You didn't have to agree with her, Dirk.
Let the accused's statement be added to his testimony.
Very well, Mr. Salmani, if you would.
It's like the more we press, the thinner our case gets.
Well, let's keep pressing and maybe we'll work out the wrinkles in it too. I concur. So the possibility of a third party being there in the tomb is probably non-existent. Maybe they want me to put the tomb here? The sarcophagus? I'll just keep pressing because I'm not sure just yet.
Hold it! We can't prove you innocent without at least the possibility that the third party was there.
Find the possible in the impossible, son. That's just what a lawyer's got to do sometimes. Isn't that right? Right?
Who, me? Yeah, you could say that. I've seen more than my fair share of trials like that. They'd start with no viable evidence, useful testimony, or any hope of winning. But through cold sweat, desperation, and a little luck, I always managed to pull them off.
Right. I can see we are kindred spirits, you and I.
Geez, taking cases like that must shave years off your life.
If that were true, I'd be long dead.
Find the possible in the impossible. Can I prove that it was at least possible there was a third party there?
Dirk, what did you see at the scene of the crime?
Let's see, I came to...
So I think I want to say the tomb, the sarcophagus there, because we're saying Apollo was deliberately brought up. Maybe you could survive in there with a jacket on, and we know Amara shouldn't be in there. So
lying right in front of me was Inga, dead as a doornail.
Hold it!
I'm just going to carry on pressing everything else just in case, though.
You stated that he was as dead as a doornail. How can you be so sure?
It's pretty easy to spot the difference between a soulless man and the soulless shell of a man. His complexion and the amount of blood at the scene made it obvious which it was.
Watch your words, or you shall join Minister Inga much sooner than expected. You can bow your head before him and seek his forgiveness there in the Twilight Realm. If you still have a head to bow, that is.
You bloodthirsty spider! What happened to you? There was still a little love in your heart 23 years ago. You even used to think of me as a brother.
It seems you truly do have a death wish.
Is that really all you've got?
Derek, I'm begging you, enough of the lip.
Just deliver your testimony, please.
Oh. Alright, I'll try, but I can't promise anything.
Man, he's just having a great time up on this tent. I've no recollection of what happened in the interim.
Hold it!
A day's passed since the murder. Haven't you remembered anything in that time?
My memory is a complete blank. It's as if that part of my brain has been scooped right out.
How very convenient. But even if you've no memory of the event, your guilt is without question. There is nothing more to debate.
You're forgetting one thing, Khura'In. I have no motive.
You lead a band of insurgents that seeks to overthrow the government. I would say that alone is motive enough to slay our kingdom's Minister of Justice.
Objection! I've declared countless times that I lead a bloodless revolution. I forbid violence and murder, even if some younger members may have a thirst for blood.
Yeah, tell that to Dats, who was like roundhousing police officers in the face earlier. I mean, not that I'm saying that out loud, of course. A bloodless revolution. He wouldn't really have a motive in that case. Is that an important statement? I suppose we could put the blood stain there. Well, we don't necessarily have proof that it was him who did this to the person. It could very well be, have been Inga. That seems flimsy. Well, what's the harm in adding it? That was an important statement. I'd like my client to add it to his testimony.
Very well, then the accused will please do as the defense has requested.
No, we should have like 8 segments now.
I don't have a motive for killing Inga. After all, me and my ilk seek a bloodless revolution.
And we've still got this one, the possibility of a third party here. So let me push on the bloodless revolution and then the final one, and then I'll consider my options. Hold it! A bloodless revolution. Could you be more specific?
I'm talking about dragging this pompous prosecutor here off her bloody throne. So go ahead, Khura'In, act all high and mighty now, because it's the last chance you'll get.
You still speak of rebellion despite the charges against you? You truly are a fool. I will prove your guilt soon enough and display your head for all of Khura'In to see. People will forever speak of you, not as a revolutionary, but as the terrorist you are.
You're mistaken, your maleficence. It will be you that people will speak of, as the tyrant who was overthrown by your own people.
I wonder if you will still be spewing such nonsense before the headsman's axe.
I'm afraid I'll still be like this in the afterlife, despot.
I know that self-restraint is as foreign as apple pie to Dirk, but I'd really rather go home than to the Twilight Realm after this. I totally believe him, though. I believe even on his execution, he'd be cackling like a madman. But I didn't kill him. At least I don't think I did. It would go against everything I believe in. Hold it! Can you state that you didn't kill him more definitively?
How can I, when I have no memory of what happened?
Well, can you at least state whether or not you are a murderer?
That I can do. I am not a murderer, and I would never kill anyone no matter the circumstances.
Objection! And do you have any evidence to support your claim that you did not kill the minister?
Evidence? No, can't say that I do.
In that case, you will strike the statement, "I didn't kill him," from your testimony. Wait, you can't just discard testimony like that. I mean, I'm the one cross-examining the defendant and all. Hold your prattling tongue, foreign devil. I am the queen of this kingdom. Her desk slam is you doing it with the book. And the queen is the law. As such, I need not follow the laws that are in place. I can make and break them at will. Don't she have to sign something or something?
Henceforth, the accused will refrain from stating I didn't kill him.
What?
Sure, whatever. It's the Khura'In show after all, same as always. Though I guess there's no evidence that proves I didn't kill him either.
Hold it! Dirk, leave the evidence finding to me. Now please, will you stop agreeing with everything the prosecution says?
Alright, I'll stick to the facts from now on. But remember, son, if you truly believe in me, you should be able to prove my innocence. I know you can do it.
He believes I'll prove him innocent? Even with all these inconvenient truths? Is that what he's saying? I think Dirk might be onto something. Even the most disadvantageous facts may point the way to the truth. So don't ignore them. Think of them as food for thought. Don't worry, I know. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I need to remember that, no matter how difficult the facts may be to deal with. Let me say that better again, please. I need to remember that, no matter how difficult the facts may be to deal with. If only we could establish the possibility of a third party. But does the possibility itself even exist? We don't have a choice. Proving it exists is the only way to start a real dialogue here. The tomb seems the most
reasonable way, right? A big empty sarcophagus in the middle of the room. It was like the first thing we thought of when we came out of the scene, was someone should have been able to hide there. The only reason we thought it wasn't likely is because Amara was in there, but we know that to be a lie now. So the only thing stopping you from getting in there now would be whether you have the key or not, and we assume it was Khura'In and she did have the key. She's sure acting like a murderer now. Oh, please don't let me mess up the first cross-exam. Objection! What is that noise? Oh, that was one of my Chords of Steel voice training exercises. Well, from now on, you shall keep such caterwauling out of this sacred hall. Guess I better take it down a notch. Okay, so the killer could not have been hiding in the sarcophagus. But they did fully say... Oh, I'm an idiot! The bloodstain actually proves, like, that's not just a suggestion, it proves the third person. Sorry! I forgot, I forgot that it's not like a real case where we would give all the evidence up front, and so everyone would already know there was a third party from the bloodstain, and so I thought they were trying to prove there was somewhere we could have hid them. I'm such an idiot. Sorry. Stupid way to lose health! Your Eminence, I'm afraid this trial will not go exactly. Anyway, next time on Spirit. That's all for now! What an idiot! It's the 6th game and I still don't know how trials work! I'm just letting my nerves get the better of me. It's okay. We'll get through this. It's a bad way to start. Next week on the channel, give me some more of our Omori EX playthrough, where we're going to hit max level and cause more problems, do some murders, dig up some graves, you know how it is. But that is all for now. God, come on, man, get it together. Thank you so very much for coming, man. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Both boosts too early here. But if you do that, then you can grab it and the pink thing and the last key all at once. And then I probably don't even need the daylight vision then. Right. Good. Finally, 5th key gotten. Let's get in there. This kind of feels pretty final, doesn't it?